Okay, let's go.
You watching Noble Farms.
Hey you, why are you not subscribed? Please smash that subscribe button.
Hey everybody, welcome back to Noble Farms. I'm Jerry. We're in the mill today. We're going to try to saw a log here, and we're going to try to break it down for you guys and show you guys how to get the most profit out of a log, the most value out of it, to be able to use every bit of material that comes off a log. So cutting a tree on the land to bringing it right onto the mill. So we have the logs here on the log bed here. We'll run through it and show you exactly what we're going to get out of this and show you step by step on how we're going to cut it and why we're cutting it the way we picked to cut. So we're going to get this all set up. We had the mill set up in here, log bed, logs on the bed. We're ready to go. So stay tuned, and hopefully you can learn something here about how to saw a log and how to get some lumber, usable stuff for your farm or any project you got on the go. So these are the little extensions I made so that we can roll the log all the way onto the log bed. These just go laid right on the rail on the mill. Now I'll roll that log right out with ease, just one person. There you go. Doesn't take much. It's just trying to get it all set up on the log bed the way you need it. I'm a little bit too far that way, but that's okay for taking the first few boards off. So it's up against the log grabs on the other side. So what I'm going to end up doing now is I'm going to take a measurement off this in the back so that we can see how much we have to raise it in the front. So we're at, say, 16 inches, but we'll go to 15 because we do have a nice big thick butt on this log. So when sawing lumber, you actually gotta, what you're gonna get out of it is actually what's in the top section. So you can only get, no odds how big the back is, you're only gonna get what's in the top section. You're gonna end up with a thicker first cut slab on the back side. So usable lumber is only what the width of this is up here. So we had 15 up there, so we're gonna bump this up quite a bit. We have the jack in here. Let's see if we can lift this up some. We'll start there first and see what we got. So we're roughly 15 there now. Okay, let's go with that. That's pretty close. Your first cut's always the worst. So here we're just locking it into the log bed to keep it nice and solid. So now I'm going to go ahead, get the mill started, and we'll just take a little, just touch this here enough to take the bark off, see where we end up to on the back side, and then we'll go from there on where we need to drop down or raise back up. So I'll get this mill cranked up to 15 inches or just under. There we are at 15. We'll try it at 15 first and see what happens. So I'm going to start the mill up, so it's going to get a little noisy, but we'll see how it goes. So we got our 15 in measurement wise. Now we're going to take off that first cut, get that taken right off the top so we can see where we're going to do. So as you can see, we didn't touch in the middle because the log, just the way the log is shaped. Yeah. Here we are now, like I said before, we're taking a lot of meat off the back side. That's always the case when we do have a log at this shape. So what we're going to do now, we're going to take down 1 more inch. We're going to drop down 1 more inch on there, go back down to 14 and get that 1 inch taken right off the top here. See now that we're taking a little more meat off the top. So we have that one piece taken off the top. You see me throw it to the other side. So even that little piece that we taken off there, it gave me about 5 feet of usable board. So that 1 inch thick, and that rind on, or bark on, that's going to end up going into our pile for boards for the fence. So that's what we're going to be using that 1 inch stuff for. What we're after out of this log is we're after some solid 2x6. So 2 inch thick by 6 inch wide. And that's what we're going to be using for the rails on the fencing out there for the cows. So that's why we're sawing this log here. So we're going to take another 1 inch board off this, bring it down again. Like I said, that'll be used for fencing in the same area. So So here we are with another 1 inch board for fence boards. So we'll just take them just like that, cut them in two, because this log is a 10-foot log. Got to give us two 5-foot boards for the fencing when we go to put the fencing on. So just going to slide that off to the side, because that has to go over on the table and get cut over here on the table. So now we're at the point now where we have to flip this over, because we're looking for 2x6 out of this. So right here we got 8 inches between bark to bark. So that's where we want to be, somewhere around that vicinity there. 8 inches all the way around there, it's 9. So we can flip this over now, take the bark off the other side, and get it down to that width again. Then we'll flip it a few more times and get it where we need it. So we're going to pull the mill back and get this flipped over. This is the hard part and tricky part. And dangerous part, I guess. Because if it falls over on you, you're going to have a bad day. So we got this peavy here, we're going to flip it with this. Now some people would leave it up on this angle, with the flat side up against the holders on the side, but and that's fine if that's what you're used to and that's what you like doing. But I usually flip it all the way over, and that way then I know exactly what I'm getting. So it's a lot of fighting with this, trying to get it where you want it and down. So now we have that flat surface all the way to on its like right down flat. So we need to I'm going to see if I can shift it over a little bit, but I don't think I can. It's not the easiest thing to. There we go. Wasn't easy, but we got it. As long as we have it up on that bed right there, then we know we're perfect all the way through. So we're just going to shove this in tight to the uprights here. There you go. Now we're ready to lock it in place again and start over and take that slab off that side again. So we'll bring it back down now to the bark here. That's going to give me 11 inches. So we're going to take a piece off 11 inches here. I'm going to go 11 and a half. Just because I wanted to get some usable fence boards out of there. So we're going to leave some bark right here on the front part, but that's okay. We'll get right down to it on the next cut. So this is how you get the most out of your log. There you go, there's the first piece off. So now, like I was saying before, now I can get a good, decent 1 inch thick board off here for the fencing. So that's what we're after. Let's get that out there, get as much out of this as we possibly can. And that's where it's going to be valuable. There you go, another beautiful 1 inch board. So if we weren't after the fence boards to put up around our fencing, then we would just take this and saw it into usable 1 inch thick boards, like 1x4s, 1x6s, whatever, and make it usable that way. But we don't need any inch board at this point, so we're using it for all the fencing. So I won't even bother to take any rind off this. This will be just laid on the table, cut in half, and be nailed right onto the fence. So that's the whole point of this, is trying to get as much as we can out of the log for you guys to be able to see that, you know, if you work so hard to get this stick, then don't go wasting it. Try to get as much out as you can for a number of different reasons. It could be used for all sorts of things. So back to this again. We're back to down to where we're getting close now to see what we need out of here. So right here now, it's barely 6 inches from the start here, from bark to bark. So what we're going to do, we're just going to go ahead, take another one right off the top here. I may even just go ahead and take a a 2x6 off here, just to get it down to some usable, some good, nice, clean wood. So I do have an odd number here, and I'm at 6. Yeah, I'm at 10.5 there. So 10.5. I need to be on an even number. So we'll fix that up later here. But for right now, we're just going to take a nice 2x6 right off this. So I'm going to come down to for a nice solid 2-inch. Now we're going to take some real thick off this. So lost thing off. So there you have one real nice thick live edge plank. So we're just going to lay him to the side. We'll get back to him later. So now we're going to flip this one up on its edge. Lift these stops up a little bit. Now, let's see if we can flip it up. So now I'm just going to take this just to hold it in there, keep it up while I work with this on this end. Just have to be pretty careful that it doesn't slip down and fall back off. Now we want to see what we can get out of this side. So we're up to 16 inches there. 15. 15. I'm gonna leave it right there, I think. Give it a little. Okay. There we go. So you're gonna make sure this is up straight now. Looks to be good. Tighten this one in. Then we should be good to go. Now I'm going to take a couple live edge boards off there and see how that goes. There's the first one. The first slab off. So this one now is going to be the fence board. So down 1 inch. Slide that over. So the 1 inch now, we're going to take that 1 inch right off now. There you go, that's another one. So now we got it down to that good usable lumber, little bit of wean on both sides, not too worried about that. What I'm worried about is trying to make it a 1 foot thick down here. I need 1 foot because that will give me 2 sections, 2 lots of 6 inch planks. So 6 inch planks, 6 inch planks. So we're gonna lower this down, flip it over, completely opposite what it is now, and get it down to 12 inches. This is a bad pattern where you could really nip your fingers, so there you have it. Up there. We'll get that cut again, see if we can get 12 inches out of it. Should be good, pretty close anyway. Okay, there's 13, so that's good. That means we can get a 1 inch board off this too as well. So we'll take that off at 13 inches. We'll come back for a second go on get it down to 12 inches. Where we want to be. Now that's going to give us that full 12-inch bark. It's actually going to give us 2 logs of 2x6. Can't see it right yet. Break it down even further. Now, I want to see okay, so what we're going to do now, I'm at 8.5 inches wide. So I'm going to flip this down on its side there. I'm just going to take a 1/2 inch thick board off the top here. And that way then it'll be even number all the way for the 2x6s. So we'll flip it down on its side one more time and take that 1/2 inch off. And the reason why I'm taking it off on this side is because I'm still left with a little bit of bark on this side. So if I take the 1/2 inch off that side, then I don't end up with that much bark on the 2x6s when we go to cut them down. So hopefully it works out. And you'll be able to see why we did it this way. And once we're done, I'll explain to you what we got out of this one log. And you'll see for yourself that there's ways to make a log profitable to you, whether you're selling it or if you're using it for your own use. For us, we never really end up selling any lumber because we use so much of it. So now we're going to bring this down to even 8. So you may ask yourself why I didn't put this on. Oh, he forgot to lock it in. No, I never. It's just that this piece of wood is so heavy, it wasn't going to move anyway. So I never bothered to even lock it in. And another thing, you may ask yourself, why'd you cut a 1/2 inch out of there? For one, I had to get it down to an even number because what I'm going to do now is I'm going to take it all down 2 inches at a time. Well, you're going to say to yourself, well, this piece is wastage now. That little 1/2 inch, you could have left it on another piece. But no, I used a 1/2 inch too as well. And I do have a pile of 1/2 inch, 6 inch thick boards right here. And what we do with that is we use it for clapboard on the buildings that we build around here. So again, stuff is all getting used. And you're going to see, even the bark is getting used out of this stick. So now we have it down on its flat. Instead of tipping it up again, what I'm going to do is I'm just going to keep running 2 inch thick off it all the way down. So I'm going to shift it, lower these stops all the way down so that a 2x6 clears on them. That should do it. Now we're going to lock this one in because we're going to be cutting this into pieces. So now all we're going to do is just keep running down 2 inches at a time. So our first cut is going to be at 6 inches. That's 6 inches. Now we're going down to 4. There we are, we're down to 4. Now we're going to take the last cut, put it tipped this way, right down to 2 inches. So now we have that all split. So now you can see what I'm actually doing here. So we have them cut. Now they're 2 inches by 12 inches. There's 4 of them. Now we're going to tip this all up and we're going to split that right in half. We'll end up with 8 identical 2x6 solid rough 2x6. That's what we're looking for. That's what we want. There you go. They're up there. There you go. Looks beautiful. So now, like I said before, we're going to split this right in half. And that's going to give us that wood that we're looking for. There you go, that's one. So now you've seen that cut. We move right back to where we started now with this live edge one right here. Get in, cut on. And now we're going to get that 6-inch out of this one. Keep that up nice and straight there. And locked in. So now we can take that 6-inch thick right off that one. There you go. There's another 6-inch. So now that's that entire log cut into usable material. So we'll talk about what we got out of it and why we did what we did. So right now we got 9 pieces of solid 2x6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. 9 pieces of good usable lumber for the fencing. Quick and easy. This 1/2-inch piece, we're going to leave this one as we'll be sawing more 1/2-inch thick lumber, and we'll put it with it, because trying to saw something so flimsy as this on the mill by itself is a little bit of a nuisance, but could do it, I guess. But we'll wait until we got a couple more to go with it so we can pack it together and be a little bit more stable on the mill. So as you can see, the pile here on the ground, this is what's left. So even these pieces here are going to be usable. We'll be using that as well. These are the pieces that's going to heat our house tonight, this winter. So we'll be cutting that up into firewood, as you can see here. Some of the smaller pieces, slabs that we cut off, we cut them up on the saw. We have our measures all here, and we cut it off all at the exact same length. And the measure over here would be for the fence board. So these ones that are live edge and the ones with the bark on, that's small enough, not way too thick. We'll end up cutting some a couple pieces like this end right here. It's a prime example. This one here, where it's so thick on the end, we'll cut a piece of firewood off this so it's a little thinner, so it's a little bit more manageable to stick nails into on the fence. But all of that, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think it's 10 fence boards out of that too as well. So that'll give us about 8 feet of fencing, roughly. And then probably a dozen, 12, 15 pieces of firewood. So 100% of this is used. 100%. Even right down to the sawdust. This sawdust will be shoveled up out of here, and it'll be, once we'll leave it here for a few days, let it dry out some, then we'll put it into tote bags, and then we'll end up using that in the chicken coops next spring when the new chickens and that come to go on top of the floor. So every ounce of this stuff is being used. So that's what we like about it. Nothing goes to waste, and we savor every little bit and make it usable for us. So that's how you get 100% profit off your log you're sawing, and you wouldn't be able to do it without a mill like that. So these mills, these little bandsaw mills, are great. So yeah, that log is done. rode off. We got some material that we can go out and start putting on some fencing. So thanks for watching. Make sure to hit that like and subscribe button and follow us for more interesting videos on how we started out on this little farm, this little venture, this dream that we had, and how we're making a go of it. So stay tuned and follow us along, and we'll see you in the next videos.